Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Comic Kid, and today we will be talking about DC figures. Reason being is that DC for a while there had 3 separate toy lines running at the exact same time. Now it's just down to 2. And it can be kind of confusing on which one you prefer to buy. Each one does come with its own stats. Each has its own pros and cons, and so I figured we'd discuss all of those today. Now, the big 3 were Mattel, DC Collectibles, and DC Icons. DC Icons over here is the line that has expired. It went for a pretty long time. They got quite a few figures out, I want to say in the late 20s, early 30s amount. So the line did well, but not as well as the other 2. And the main reason being is, as you can see here, he's scaled down. Blue Beetle is substantially shorter than everyone. Even the people in the back are way taller than he is. And so that was mainly where Icons ran into their biggest problems, was the scale. Not a lot of people liked having substantially shorter versions of characters on the shelf. Other than that, though, the articulation for Icons was great. You had an ab crunch, no ab swivel, their legs could go up and down. There was still some limited mobility, but they did have double jointed knees, double jointed elbows here, as you can see, and all that. The head can rotate all the way if you want it to. Icons was also known for having a lot of accessories. Blue Beetle here, you can pop his wings out if you need to, like so. The cannons here can be swapped out for other normal hands, and so on and so forth. That was the appeal to the Icons line, and this is my favorite Blue Beetle figure here. Personally, for me, the scale actually works because he's in my Teen Titans section, and I really enjoy that. Now, next up is DC Collectibles. This is the newest redesign for them here. This is the Brainiac figure, and they really stepped up their game with collectibles. There's a lot more mobility there. As you can see, there's an ab crunch and ab swivel. They are a little stiff. All of the figures I've found from this new wave are a little stiff. That or they're very loose. The Batman that I have, his joints, his wrist joint on the right is especially loose, and that hand will often fall out. But yes, the Essentials line does come with high amounts of mobility. There's even an ankle swivel in there. Other side. So that's the appeal to Essentials. The main thing that the new Essentials stuff lacks is accessories. If I'm not mistaken, every Essentials figure that I have has not come with any accessory, with the exception of Aquaman. It is not this Aquaman. This Aquaman is from the last Essentials line, but the new Aquaman that comes as part of the redesign is the only one that comes with an accessory, and it's the Trident, which is much needed, obviously. I believe the Black Manta also comes with removable blades, and Deathstroke has a sword, but regardless, all accessories with the new Essentials line are very minimal. There's just really not a whole lot. But to compare the two, this is the old Essentials Aquaman. As you can see, there's no pivot in the ankle. His knees move, his legs can move up and down, but there's no torso movement whatsoever, and only single jointed elbows. So very limited mobility with the old line, and so on and so forth. He will stand. And lastly, we have the Mattel Multiverse wave. It used to be called DC Universe Classics. It has evolved into something substantially better, in my opinion. That being said, Mattel figures still aren't quite where they should be. Their biggest fault is they still do not have double jointed elbows. None of the figures do. It's very strange. As of recent, they did add double jointed knees here, and they've had posable ankles, but there's no like spin or swivel, or there's no way to bend the foot inward for better balance. So there's still some limited mobility with the Mattel wave here. This is the old one. As you can see, the Jessica Cruz, who just fell over, is a substantial improvement upon that. There we go. The DC Universe Classic Superman here, like, I never really got into these hip joints. They always posed out weird, and yes, they allowed for a lot of mobility, but that just looks weird to me. I can never really get into that. And then still single jointed elbows here. The face sculpts always did pretty good, and they do come with ab crunches almost all the time. So yeah, while the new stuff is a substantial improvement, Mattel still has a lot of work to do. As far as accessories, Mattel usually comes with quite a few. Everything does feel appropriate. Jessica Cruz here does not have all of her accessories. That being said, I think the only thing she's not holding on her sculpt is the remaining glowing waves. You can have it look like she's completely charged with power and all that. I just liked something a little bit more subtle. But yeah, all of them go for around the same price. The collectibles were actually some of the more expensive ones. Icons ran for about $25, 20 to 25. Essentials ran for, I think they used to go for about 28. They're about 26 now, and the reason they lowered the price is probably because they weren't selling a lot at $28, and so they cut out the accessories and just gave you the basic figure for $2 cheaper. And then the Mattel Multiverse usually go for around 20 to 25 standard retail, depending on where you get them as well. But yeah, I hope that solved everything for you guys, kind of explained the different lines, this, that, the other. I hope it helps you find what you're looking for in DC figures. The good thing about them is that they have like no one maker, so if you don't like one, you do have options, whereas with Marvel, as far as 6 scale goes, you really only have the Hasbro Marvel Legends line. So if you like those figures, great, but if you don't, then you really don't have a lot of other options available to you. So that is the appeal to DC, but it's also a little bit confusing for everyone, and it leads to a lot of like inconsistent looks, but it does leave everything open for different interpretations, different figures. Like I said, there's pros and cons to each, so I hope this was informative for you guys, and I hope you enjoy shopping for your new DC figures. Thank you, and tune in next week. Feel free to click subscribe, and I will see you all then. Have a good one.